Let's go to Capitol Hill and talk to a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator, thank you so much for being here. We have a lot to talk to you about. I want to start, though, with one of my biggest concerns about the new Republican Congress and the incoming President of the United States, and that is debt. It doubled under George W. Bush to about $11 trillion. It doubled under Barack Obama, just about to about $20 trillion. And the policies that I'm hearing, it sounds like it's going to double again. What can we do to make sure that Republicans don't repeat what they did under George W. Bush?
Well, here's the great irony, Joe. This week we're going to vote on a budget. Everybody's hot and heavy to vote on this budget because they want to repeal Obamacare. But the budget Republicans are going to introduce will add $8.8 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. And so I tell them, look, I'm not going to be part of that. I'm not voting for a budget that never balances and adds $8.8 trillion.
Are there just not enough people on the Hill to care anymore? Do they not know interest rates are going up? Do they not know that this bad situation is going to get exponentially worse in the next 5 years?
What I've told them is, look, I'm opposed to Obamacare, and I understand the need and the desire, and I'm for repealing it, but I won't vote for a terrible budget just to repeal Obamacare. If I have to weigh the two problems, I actually think the debt is a more important problem than Obamacare. As bad as Obamacare is, a $20 trillion debt, and now a Republican budget that will add $8.8 trillion to that is inexcusable.
That is sick, really.
Senator Paul, let me ask you the same question I asked Senator Manchin about an hour ago, which is a question about repealing and replacing Obamacare. There are a lot of people in your state who are covered by Obamacare. There are a lot of people in your state of Kentucky who benefit from Obamacare. What do you say to them if Obamacare is in fact repealed? What happens to them?
Well, the majority of the people who were covered in Kentucky were through the expansion of Medicaid and not really through the subsidized market. But what I will say is that there are big problems with Obamacare. One of the biggest problems is something we call adverse selection, which means we have a lot of people who are sick buying insurance and not enough healthy people. Right. That's why under Obamacare they gave us the individual mandate. My concern with repeal is they're going to repeal the individual mandate, and that top heaviness with sick people buying insurance at the last minute and healthy people not will get worse. Already, like North Carolina Blue Cross lost $400 million in 2016. My concern is that spirals out of control if we keep the feel-good parts of Obamacare, but we get rid of the individual mandate. So I'm very concerned about how this thing unravels. I do think there are some things we should consider, though. The biggest problem in the old system, as a physician that I saw, was that we linked insurance to employment. And so what happens is when you link it to employment, if I am only a self-employed person of one in my business, I have no leverage and I'm a pool of one, and so my insurance goes through the roof if I get sick. What we really need is to get insurance delinked from employment and allow me, if I'm an individual employer or I'm a business of one, you need to let me pull together easily with large groups so I'm a pool of thousands, if not millions of people, so I don't get this problem of jacking up my rates when I get sick.
Is that on the table for replacement? Do you believe that, first of all, Obamacare should be repealed, I assume? Is that part of your replacement idea, and do you have support for it in the Congress?
It is part of what I think we should do with replacement. I think it's imperative that Republicans do a replacement simultaneous to repeal. If they don't, Obamacare continues to unravel, and there are many healthcare analysts and experts who are predicting bankruptcy for insurance companies and a massive insurance company bailout within the first 6 months of repeal. It's already the insurance companies are suffering because of adverse selection. Adverse selection gets worse when you get rid of the individual mandate. So we need to think through how we do this, and it's a huge mistake for Republicans if they do not vote for replacement on the same day as we vote for repeal.
Here. Mark Halperin.
Senator, healthcare is obviously big and complicated and technical, but let me just ask you a philosophical question to frame the debate. President Obama believes every American should have access to health care that the government mandates. Do you agree with that every American should have health care?
Well, you know, it's one of these questions that's a little bit of a trick question. As a physician, I do believe that I'm my brother's keeper. The Hippocratic Oath says that I'll take care of everyone. And so physicians have always said we have 100% access, and we always should, and we don't turn people away in our hospitals. In fact, we never did under the old system. But what we need is an economic model where insurance is affordable. The one thing Obamacare did, and most people don't realize this, is it made it illegal to sell inexpensive insurance. So part of the replacement is you have to legalize the sale of all forms of insurance, including inexpensive insurance. President Obama said, oh, I know better, and so I'm not going to let you buy what you want because I'm going to take care of you. I'm the all-powerful, all-seeing, all-knowing. But really what you want is to allow the marketplace to work and allow inexpensive insurance to be sold. That is part of the answer.
Elise Jordan.
Senator Paul, Elise here, my favorite senator in Washington. So how confident are you that Republicans are actually going to be able to come together and have a viable replacement for Obamacare when they repeal it?
I think the interesting thing is that many of the ideas have been talked about for years. They've been put into legislation. And I hear these reports saying, oh, Republicans can't agree to the replacement. There's about 4 or 5 things I listed in my op-ed that I wrote for Rare the other day. One of them was that we need to legalize sale across state lines, make it easier for individuals to band together with other individuals to be part of a large pool, expand a health savings account. If you want to save $10,000 a year for your health, let it all be deductible in a health savings account. Have no limits to health savings accounts. Obamacare went the opposite way. In the ideal world, everybody would buy insurance for their baby. And if their baby didn't get sick the next year, they'd increase the deductible every year, but they would put the difference into a health savings account. So the savers would be rewarded with very high deductible policies. It might be that half the public had a $10,000 deductible by the time they were 18, and that policy would cost $1,000 a year instead of $1,000 a month, and we get to a true marketplace where most people interacted with their physician, prices were mobile and went up and down, and you would actually have real competition like a real marketplace. All of that is possible if people understand the healthcare problem is an economic one. It's not some wonky healthcare problem that's unique just to healthcare. It's basic economics.
All right, Senator Rand Paul on a very foggy Capitol Hill morning. Thank you so much
Thank you
for being with us. And Steve Kornacki, this is